Hello, hello. This is Patty Joe. I would like to say this is my third try at this. I've been having some technical difficulties. I so appreciate those of you who have stuck with me through all of my learning processes. And as I continue to move forward with that, I appreciate you and your comments. So thank you very, very much. I hope everyone can hear me. That was a thing. Saving the videos has been a thing. So I am working very hard on that. We are still on day 2 with Darrell. Um, so here is the witness, this gentleman. And I'm going to, instead of interrupting him, I'm going to try so hard not to because Darrell just is his usual nightmare during this whole thing. But this particular person, first of all, I would like to say time, but he is a smart, intelligent, well spoken, honest, with a lot of experience. Now, he will be asked about his medical emergent medical training, and he is in the was in active military. He's now, I guess, retired or moved on or whatever. But I will tell you that combat trained or combat ready, or I don't know all of the ins and outs of everything, but I do know quite a bit from having taught paramedics. And our military students would come with a huge wealth of knowledge, specifically in the area of trauma and specifically in the area of mass and multiple casualties. So he's very humble with what he knows. I could tell you if something like that happened in front of me, that's the guy I would want. Okay. He is really good and really smart. And what he does and what Darrell tries to do to make him look dishonest or whatever or not credible is ridiculous. But he does like pull, Darrell, he does pull like one little thread of what could possibly be a defense. And, I don't know. You'll have to tell me what you think of it. Somebody in the comments said that Darrell appreciated the carnage had caused. You're so right. I do read comments. I try to at least acknowledge, if not answer, all of them. That I'm very new at this. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, so I really appreciate everybody. There is a link below. You might have to copy and paste it for the WAUKESHA Permanent Memorial Fund. So if you want to contribute or donate, there's an opportunity to do so. But let's move on. I'm going to make these short, so I might only go through half of the questioning of him and do the other one in another questioning to make sure I have my stuff right, so I don't have to do this for a fourth time. I don't think I could watch Darrell that many times.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Oops.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated.
First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Kyle Edwards, Kyle Edwards.
Oops.
Thank you.
Go ahead, your witness.
Good afternoon. What city or town do you live in, sir?
At the time, Waukesha. Right
Okay.
now, I live in Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay, so back in November of 2021, you lived here in Waukesha, is that correct? Okay, and I just want to ask you very briefly, do you have any medical training, sir?
I've been in the service for 17 years, so limited combat lifesaver, just basic Army warrior tasks, that type of medical stuff.
So humble. That's a lot of
And
training.
on November 21 of 2021, did you make plans to attend the Waukesha Christmas parade?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you attending that parade with any family members?
Yeah, my wife and 2 kids at the time.
Okay. Did you travel to the area where the parade was being held by car?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you remember what road you may have taken to approach the parade area?
Yeah, we lived just east of Frame Park, so we crossed the river and then came up into the downtown area using North Street, East North Street.
Okay. And was there a time when you came to the intersection of North Street and Barstow Road?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, at the corner of East North Street and Barstow, there was a stoplight there. So.
Okay. I'm going to put up a document that's been labeled as exhibit number 7. You'll get a chance to look at it on your screen first, sir. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, could you, there we go, thank you. Do you see exhibit 7 on the screen in front of you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize what's shown in exhibit number 7?
I do, ma'am.
What do you see there, sir?
So that's the intersection we had stopped at. We were coming southwest on North Street, which at the time is a one-way, and stopped at the intersection of East North Street and Barstow with a gas station on our left.
Okay. Does the photograph in exhibit number 7 accurately represent that intersection to the best of your knowledge, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, move to admit and permission to publish number 7, please.
Any position on that, Mr. Brooks?
Yeah, object.
So, lawyers out there, or anybody who knows more, he should be objecting to every exhibit, as far as I can tell, because she being Judge Doro, seems to ask him each time they want to publish or make it a publicly seen exhibit. She asks him again if he wants to object to it. He has, I don't know if he ever picks up on it, but I have.
So irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
Your objection is noted. It's
And it's
overruled.
stupid.
Exhibit 7 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
That whole answer was a sigh. Oh my God.
Just waiting for it to come up on the screen here for everybody to see. Okay. So the roadway is clearly marked as North Street, and the other roadway is clearly marked as Northwest Barstow Street. Do you see that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the big square kind of on the middle right-hand side of the exhibits is the gas station, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is actually a touch screen in front of you, so I'm going to ask you to please mark with an X where you were positioned on North Street.
So left lane.
And North Street is a one-way street, is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the direction of travel, if you could mark it in a spot not near where we're going to need to point out other
Yep.
things?
Yeah, so this is
Okay.
the one way.
Okay, perfect. And what about Barstow Street? Is that one-way or two-way, if you know?
I believe it's a two-way.
Okay. And did you stop at that intersection, sir? That's a controlled intersection?
Yes, we were stopped at the red light.
Okay. And you were in that left-hand lane. It's 2-lane street there? Or 3 lanes, maybe?
2 or 3. There might be. It looks like there's a turn lane there. So.
Okay. And so you're stopped at the lane closest to the gas station?
That's correct.
And what happened as you're sitting there, sir?
So about the same time as we were coming up to stop at the stoplight, there was a vehicle that made a left from Barstow onto the wrong way to go to the wrong way on North Street and stopped right up against our vehicle. So,
Okay, could you just draw the travel, the path of travel that you just described, please?
Yeah.
Huh.
What kind of vehicle was this, sir?
It was a red SUV, kind of an older model.
Okay. So, in my own words, what I hear is he's traveling the right way on a one-way street. He stops for a red light, which, of course, as part of the people of Wisconsin, we've agreed to stop at the red lights so that we don't cause, harm to other people. And this ding-a-ling with the smooth brain does his mental gymnastics, comes making a left because he is entitled to go whichever way because we are merely living in his world, according to him. And he butts right up to this guy, and he's going to now perform some road rage, I bet. So let's let him describe that.
Do you know maker model
Dingle.
specifically or not really?
At the time, no,
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to say. Just a red SUV. So
Okay. And you've already indicated that's the wrong way to be going on North Street.
correct, ma'am.
It's irrelevant. See, it's irrelevant to nobody
What did
but
you do when you
Darrell.
saw this red SUV turning the wrong way into your path of travel?
We kind of approached that stop line at the same time, and so we were really with the other vehicle hood to hood, and again, my wife and 2 kids are in the car, and the driver of the other vehicle kind of put up their hands. You know, I could see through the 2 windshields that the other driver put up their hands and was kind of gesturing wildly, like again, I don't know if mouthing's the right word, but kind of frantically. It seemed upset at us that we were, either going the wrong way or. So I kind of did the same thing. Just put my hands up and just kind of was confused because we were coming up to a stoplight, and then a car had approached us and was hood to hood.
Okay. Did you stay parked hood to hood, or what happened?
So the person in the other vehicle kind of made mention with like a knife hand to his right, my left, to go in maybe towards the gas station. He was kind of pointing to go into the driveway of the gas station. So I looked in my rearview mirror. There was no one parked behind me at the time, and other than that vehicle having to maybe back up into the intersection, I could see that they were motioning to go into the driveway of the gas station.
Okay. Can you point out the driveway, please, for the jury?
Yeah, it's just an open driveway here.
Okay.
So I put the car in reverse, backed up.
Okay, so let me see this. So he is coming this way, Darrell. He is coming this way in northwest Barstow, which seems to be a southeasterly direction ish. He doesn't have to turn left into the wrong way on this one-way street. He could continue, and here is another opening to the same gas station. Darrell, your mental gymnastics and entitled behavior just are absolutely, and then you say what he's doing is irrelevant. Your road rage, oh my gosh, let's just move on.
Up maybe 5 feet, and then the vehicle drove into the
This
into
poor
the
guy
gas station
backs up to
parking
let
lot.
Darrell the dingling in.
Do you know who was driving that car?
Again, windshield to windshield, we were somewhat able to identify basic features, but when the car drove into the parking lot, it kind of stopped, positioned itself at an angle, and the driver rolled down the window.
Okay.
Should I draw where they stopped?
Sure.
So the vehicle drove in and kind of stopped on a diagonal like this.
All right. And you're still stopped at the stoplight
Correct.
there?
Still stopped at the stoplight.
Okay.
So the other driver rolled down the window of their vehicle. I just, as a reaction, also rolled down the window of my. I don't know why. It's just a reaction of. So the other driver rolled down their window, maybe halfway, and stuck his head out and kind of looked back. And he said, why didn't you get out of the way? And I'm trying to get gas. And I said, well, it's a one-way.
Okay.
You're going the wrong way down the runway. Well, I'm telling you, I need to get gas. And I go, oh, okay, man. And then it was a green light, and then we proceeded. So.
Okay. So not to belabor this too much, but basically this poor guy with his family is trying to get to the parade. They're trying to celebrate Christmas. And here comes entitled, I don't want to go into really bad names, but numbskull with the mental gymnastics and entitled narcissistic behavior, Darrell Brooks, who could go straight and turn left into the gas station correctly, or he could do what he did, which was in an entitled way, run right up onto the front of this guy's car, causing him to have to back up in traffic. Well, he's lucky there was no traffic. And then so that he could get, and then he proceeds to turn around, stop his car, and take the time to yell at him. Oh my God. If that doesn't just say, What a horrible person this guy is. I don't want to be think of people think of me as a demon. Yes, you're a demon, Darrell. You're a demon.
Okay.
Oh
Do
God.
you think you can identify the driver of that red SUV?
Of course he can.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Do you see that person present in this courtroom here?
I do, yeah.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that Mr. Brooks be instructed to remove his mask temporarily.
Disrespectful,
Brooks, you're
Darrell.
instructed to take off your mask temporarily and look up, please. Thank you.
So at the time, it was a lot more dark facial hair features and longer hair as well. So, because
Okay.
again, I would have saw through the windshield once, but then also with the window rolled down, kind of looking back. So maybe just like the forehead and then the long, massive hair.
Sure. So different than he looks today with kind of a clean shaven or very short hairstyle
Yes,
and
ma'am.
scruff or stubble on his chin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you do think it was Darrell Brooks that was driving that car based on seeing him in court here today?
I do, ma'am.
Okay. Did
Reasonable
you
enough to me.
continue on to the parade, sir?
Yes, we did, ma'am.
And where did you and your family watch the parade?
We were literally on Broadway Street. So that was one of the streets that intersects at the 5 Points, intersects Main Street. And so it was really windy, so we wanted to kind of face away from the wind with the kids, so we were sitting on Broadway.
Okay. I'm sorry, I want to back up one step before I leave the gas station. Did it appear to you as though Mr. Brooks was alone in the car?
Yes, it did.
You only saw one person in that car
That's correct.
at that.
How is that hearsay?
The objection is overruled.
Because
His answer may
dumb.
stand.
Did you see
Oh,
any
yeah,
black
dumb.
female subjects walking in the area during this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now let's go back to the parade. You said you were near the 5 Points
Yes, ma'am.
and you were kind of positioned in area, try to get out of the wind, right?
Not out of the wind, but with our backs to the wind. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
It was very windy that night, right?
Yes.
Overruled.
It's foundational, I guess.
Did you
but-
see a red SUV go through the parade as you were watching it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you remember seeing, sir?
It was from our left. It approached to right. The direct view in front of us, there were no floats or parade participants. It was kind of a gap in the parade entries.
Okay.
And so the vehicle approached from our left. There was somebody that flew through the air, and then it exited to the right of our
So this guy saw somebody
perspective,
hit.
and that's all we saw.
Oh my goodness.
So because we were a little bit, maybe a row or two back from the front of the parade, we didn't have a long view of it coming and it leaving. It was kind of an enter the frame of reference and then exit pretty quickly.
Okay. But you did unfortunately see a person flying through the air?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell anything about the person as far as what group or unit they were with? If you know. If you don't know, that's okay.
No, it was just dark clothing.
Okay.
The objection is overruled. His answer may stand.
At that point, sir, near that 5 Points intersection, did you hear
Objection. My victim was irrelevant.
the horn of the SUV honking as it came through that intersection?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What did you do next?
We folded up our two kids in the chair, in the folding parade, lawn chair, and then got them back to the vehicle pretty quickly.
Okay.
And then my wife went to drive the kids home, and then I went back to help out with the craziness. So,
Okay. Why'd you go back to help?
it was just a reaction. I think I'll give credit to my wife. She handed me a couple diapers and a bottle of water and said,
That was really smart. So not only is he smart and a really good guy, but his wife is super smart too. Diapers would be a great trauma dressing-ish item. It has lots of layers of absorbent. You wouldn't have to remove it and put new on if you were holding direct pressure on something that's bleeding. It would have a sort of protection for your hands because, of course, diapers, although they no longer have the little rubber outside to them as they did years and years ago, they are less able to absorb all the way through and get to your hand. So if somebody was bleeding, they wouldn't. It would take a lot for them to bleed all the way through. That is fantastic first aid, both of them. Awesome. He's a really good guy.
You got to go back. So we were right there.
Okay.
So we went back.
And again, you have some limited first aid training, or perhaps more than basic training. You're have some good knowledge from your service in the armed. Mr. Brooks may have some questions.
Mr. Brooks?
I'm sorry. Yep. Thank you, Ms. Basie. Could I please ask the clerk to make a screenshot and mark it as 1D, and then I would move to admit.
7A. Should be right.
And here's where I'm going to say she's a great leader. She's obviously a great lawyer. She's a great leader, though, because she has put together a team of people who have super strengths in some areas. And this lady is detail oriented, like scary detail oriented. I love that. And Zach Wichow is super empathetic and strong, though, in this at the same time. So the questioning he does in that area, I'm sure they have other strengths, but she has put together a super good team that help and support each other. Just absolutely fabulous. A team.
Yes.
Actually, it will be 7A.
Thank you.
So that will be marked as 7A. Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
Yeah, I object to the relevancy of it. This what's on the screen right now. We talking about this?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see the relevance of this.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
This
The
makes me
court
look bad.
Receives Exhibit 7A. Do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there and try to upload this and see how it goes. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you want to copy and paste the link for the fundraiser below, please do. I'm sure that will be fantastic for them. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for your comments. So comment, share, like, whatever you want to do.